Emily had always known she was the second choice in her family. Her parents never admitted it out loud, but their actions spoke clearly. Her older sister Claire was the favorite. Claire was 3 years older, full of charm, and always seemed to catch their parents' attention. Emily, on the other hand, often felt like a shadow in her own home. She remembered once bringing home a perfect report card when she was just 8 years old. She had run into the living room, her heart bursting with excitement. "Mom, Dad, look. Straight A's," she said, holding out the paper with both hands. Her mother glanced at it and smiled faintly. "That's nice, honey." Then she turned right back to Claire, who was waving around a B- in math as if it were a gold medal. Her father clapped Claire on the shoulder and announced, "Ice cream for everyone. We need to celebrate this improvement." Emily stood there, still holding her report card, the paper suddenly feeling heavier than before. Please help us to drop your comments, likes and subscribe to this channel for more stories of betrayal, revenge and healing. Your support helps this channel grow. It wasn't just grades. The difference showed up everywhere. When Emily turned 10, her parents bought her a small grocery store cake and a few cheap presents. But 2 weeks later, when Claire turned 13, they threw her a huge party with balloons, a DJ, catered food, and a brand new bicycle that cost more than all of Emily's birthday gifts combined. "Do you like your cake, sweetheart?" her mother asked Emily as she lit the candles. Emily smiled politely and whispered, "Yes, Mom." But deep inside she wondered why her birthdays always felt like afterthoughts. By the time Emily turned 13, the pattern had become impossible to ignore. That year she received a stack of school supplies and a few new clothes. Claire's celebration had been a neighborhood event. Emily's had been a short evening at the kitchen table. In middle school the gap widened even more. Claire joined the volleyball team, and suddenly her parents' lives revolved around her practices and games. They wore matching team shirts, painted signs with her name, and never missed a single match. "Go Claire! You've got this!" her father shouted from the stands. Emily meanwhile joined the debate team. She practiced late nights, prepared speeches and worked hard until she qualified for the state finals. She begged her parents to come. "Please, this one is important," she said. Her mother shook her head. "We're busy that weekend, sweetie. Maybe next time." They never came to a single competition. When Emily returned home holding a state finalist medal, her parents barely looked up. "That's nice," her father said, eyes still on the television. Emily sat quietly, clutching the medal in her hand, feeling both proud and invisible. At first, Emily tried harder, hoping that maybe, just maybe, she could win their love. She cleaned the house without being asked, cooked dinner when her mother came home late and kept her grades spotless. She joined every club she could find and volunteered at community events. "Look, Mom," she said once, holding up a certificate for a volunteer award. Her mother smiled politely but then turned to Claire, who was showing off a new volleyball jersey. The message became clear. No matter how much Emily achieved, it would never be enough. By the time she reached high school, the realization settled in her heart like a stone. Her parents simply didn't care. It wasn't about effort or achievement. They had chosen who mattered, and it wasn't her. So Emily changed her strategy. She stopped trying to please them. Instead she focused on herself. "If they won't see me, I'll build a life without their approval," she whispered to herself one night, staring at her reflection in the bathroom mirror. From that moment, every decision she made was for her own future, not theirs. She poured herself into schoolwork, knowing education was her ticket out of that house. Meanwhile, Claire graduated and got accepted to a state college in Arizona. Their parents threw her another big graduation party, complete with catered food and decorations. "We're so proud of you, sweetheart," her father said, hugging Claire. Emily stood in the corner, sipping punch, wondering if her parents would ever celebrate her that way. She already knew the answer. The truth hit Emily during her junior year of high school. One evening at dinner, her father cleared his throat. "Emily, we need to talk about college," he said. Emily's fork paused halfway to her mouth. Maybe they had been saving something for her too, she thought. "Okay," she said carefully. Her mother didn't look up from her plate. "We want you to understand that we won't be able to pay your tuition like we do for Claire." Emily frowned. "Why not?" she asked, though the answer was already forming in her mind. Her father sighed. "Claire's program is very expensive and we promised her we'd cover it." Across the table, Claire smirked, twirling spaghetti around her fork. "Guess you'll just have to figure it out, Em," she said sweetly. Emily forced herself to nod, pushing food around her plate. I'll figure it out, she whispered under her breath. That night, Emily lay awake staring at the ceiling, her chest heavy with frustration. They had money for Claire but none for her. Still, she refused to let them decide her future. She sat up, grabbed a notebook and scribbled a plan under the dim light of her desk lamp. I'll get a full scholarship. I'll do whatever it takes. The next day she marched into the guidance counselor's office. Mrs. Carter, I need a full ride scholarship. What do I have to do? The counselor adjusted her glasses, studying Emily's determined expression. Full rides are very competitive, she said slowly. But if anyone can, you can. We'll need to strengthen your application. Grades, leadership, volunteer hours, everything. Emily nodded fiercely. I'll do it all. From that day, Emily transformed her life. She studied harder than ever, pulling late nights with textbooks piled high around her. She raised her GPA to a perfect 4.0 and took on leadership roles, becoming president of the debate team. She started a tutoring program for underprivileged kids and volunteered at the local hospital every weekend. Do you ever sleep? Her debate partner joked one afternoon. Emily laughed tiredly. I'll sleep when I have that scholarship in hand. She wrote and rewrote her personal essays until her words felt like fire on the page. Every move she made was deliberate, all leading to one goal, freedom. By senior year, the acceptance letters started to arrive. The first was from a liberal arts college in New York. Partial scholarship. Then another from a California school, also partial. More letters followed. 7 in total, each offering only part of the cost. Emily's heart sank a little with each one. Then one afternoon she tore open a thick envelope from Hawthorne University, a prestigious school in Massachusetts. Her eyes scanned the words, "We are pleased to offer you a full scholarship." Emily gasped and dropped onto her bed. 2 days later, another full scholarship arrived. Then another. She laughed out loud, clutching the letters to her chest. I did it, she whispered through tears. I really did it. At dinner that week she shared the news. I got into Hawthorne with a full scholarship, she said, her voice calm though her heart raced. Her father barely looked up. That's nice, Emily. Her mother frowned. Massachusetts? That's so far away. Are you sure about that? Claire rolled her eyes and smirked. It's not like Harvard or anything. The table went silent, their indifference wrapping around Emily like cold fog. She forced a small smile. Yes, I'm sure. Inside she promised herself something: she would succeed without their praise. The only person who celebrated her was her grandmother, who hugged her tightly and whispered, I'm proud of you, Emily. You did this all on your own. 2 months later, Emily packed her bags and boarded a plane to Massachusetts. Hawthorne University felt like stepping into another world. Historic buildings, sprawling green lawns, and students buzzing with ambition. Her dorm room was small but cozy. She decorated her side with photos, posters, and a small plant. Her roommate, Lily, a cheerful pre-med student, grinned as they unpacked. We're going to survive this together, Lily said. For the first time, Emily felt like she belonged somewhere. She threw herself into classes, joined the business club, and even signed up for the hiking group. At Hawthorne, nobody compared her to Claire. Nobody dismissed her. Her parents rarely called. When they did, the conversations always drifted back to Claire. Claire just landed an internship with a big marketing firm, her mother said once. We're so proud of her. Emily swallowed her disappointment. That's great, she replied, waiting for her mother to ask about her life. The question never came. After hanging up, Emily stared at her phone and muttered, Why do I even bother? Lily, overhearing, put a hand on her shoulder. You don't need their approval. You've got this, Em. By her junior year, Emily secured an internship at a financial consulting firm in Boston. Every summer she worked long hours, learning from experienced professionals. Her mentor, Caroline, a sharp and supportive woman in her 40s, noticed Emily's dedication. You're one of the hardest workers I've seen, Caroline told her one evening. Emily smiled, grateful. Thank you. I just want to build something of my own. Caroline nodded. And you will. I can see it. Emily realized Caroline saw the potential her own parents never had. One night during senior year her phone buzzed. It was her mother. Emily, she said without greeting, Claire got a job at your father's friend Leonard's company. They're starting her at $63,000 a year. Isn't that wonderful? Emily paused. She had just accepted an offer for $80,000 at the firm where she interned, but she kept it to herself. That's great, she said quietly. The call ended without her mother asking about her own plans. Emily put the phone down, staring at the ceiling. I could win the Nobel Prize and they'd still only care about Claire, she whispered bitterly. Graduation day arrived. Emily stood in her cap and gown, her heart pounding with pride. Summa cum laude, the announcer read as her name was called. The audience clapped. Emily looked out into the crowd, but her family wasn't there. They hadn't come. Her grandmother had planned to, but she'd fallen ill the week before. Instead, she sent a beautiful handwritten card with a $2,500 check tucked inside. Emily held the card close to her chest after the ceremony, tears stinging her eyes. At least someone in her family truly cared. After graduation, Emily moved to Phoenix, Arizona. She started her job at a financial firm and rented a modest apartment downtown. She cooked at home, bought clothes on sale, and saved every extra dollar she could. You're too frugal, Lily teased during a phone call. Emily laughed. I'm building something bigger. You'll see. Each month she watched her savings grow. Independence had never tasted so sweet. Family dinners became an obligation. Once a month, Emily drove to her parents' house, where Claire often dominated the conversation. Look at my new watch, Claire boasted one evening, showing off a glittering Michael Kors piece. Emily wore a simple Timex her college roommate had given her. Do you even care how you look? Claire sneered. Their mother chuckled. Not everyone has your style, Claire. Their father added with a smile. With your salary you could buy something nicer, Emily. Emily shrugged and kept eating, silently thinking, every dollar I save brings me closer to my own home. When Emily turned 25, her life shifted. Her grandmother passed away peacefully in her sleep. At the reading of the will, Emily and Claire each inherited half of their grandmother's house. We should sell and split the money, Claire said quickly. Emily agreed. She already had her apartment in Phoenix and the house held too many memories. After the sale, each sister received $270,000. Emily's hands shook as she held the check. It was more money than she'd ever seen. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. Buy a home of her own. Emily spent weeks searching before finding the perfect condo in downtown Phoenix. It was a 2-bedroom unit in a secure building with a gym and rooftop garden. This is it, she whispered during the tour. 2 weeks later, she closed on the condo and became a homeowner at 25. She carefully furnished it with durable, timeless pieces. To celebrate, she planned a housewarming party. She invited friends, colleagues, and a few cousins. Out of obligation, she also invited her parents and Claire. On the afternoon of the party, Emily was arranging food platters when her phone buzzed. It was her mother. Emily, we won't make it tonight. Claire surprised us with tickets to Las Vegas. Our flight leaves in 2 hours. Emily stared at the phone, her throat tight. Of course, she said softly. Have a good trip. She hung up, shook her head, and forced a smile. The party went on without them, and it was perfect. Her friends admired her home, raised glasses of wine, and toasted. To Emily, one of her colleagues said, a woman who builds her own future. Emily's chest swelled with pride. For the first time she realized she didn't need her family's approval. She had built a life that was entirely her own. In the months that followed, Emily settled comfortably into her new life. Work was going well, she had a beautiful home, and her circle of friends kept her grounded. On Instagram, however, she saw Claire living like a celebrity. Designer handbags, Tiffany jewelry, new cars, and glamorous vacations. Her posts were filled with captions like living the dream and goals. Emily rolled her eyes whenever she saw them. She's burning through that inheritance like firewood, she muttered. But she said nothing. She had her condo, her savings plan, and her peace of mind. 2 years passed quickly. Emily was 27 now, halfway through paying off her mortgage thanks to her aggressive payments. She was thriving at work, recently promoted to senior associate. Meanwhile, Claire was still posting endless photos of nights out, ski trips, and luxury shopping. At family gatherings, their parents still gushed over Claire's adventures. Emily kept her distance, attending only major holidays. You never stay long, her mother complained one Thanksgiving. Emily smiled politely. I've got work tomorrow. Inside, she was already planning her exit the moment dessert was done. Then came the unexpected phone call. One Tuesday evening, Emily's phone lit up with Claire's name. That alone was unusual. They rarely spoke directly. You need to come to Mom and Dad's this Saturday, Claire said sharply. We have to talk. 6 o'clock. Before Emily could ask what it was about, Claire hung up. Emily frowned at the phone. This can't be good, she whispered. That Saturday, Emily pulled into her parents' driveway and immediately noticed Claire's Mercedes parked out front. Inside, boxes were stacked in the living room. Claire's jacket hung by the door. Emily walked into the dining room and saw her parents sitting with Claire, who was picking at her nail polish. What's going on? Emily asked. Her father gestured for her to sit. Claire has moved back home, her mother explained, patting Claire's arm. She's going through a difficult time. Claire finally looked up, her face tight with annoyance. I ran out of money, she admitted. Emily blinked. What? Claire sighed. I got fired too. They said I was absent too much. Total lies. My boss hated me. Emily bit her tongue. So now what? She asked cautiously. Claire leaned back, smirking. Now I start my own business. I've got a large online following. I can build a lifestyle brand. Travel, beauty, fashion. But I need money to get started. Emily's heart sank as she realized where this was going. Her father folded his hands. We thought you could help, Emily. Emily stared at him. Help? How? Claire crossed her arms. Sell your condo. Give me half. Grandma's money paid for it anyway. Emily froze. Excuse me? Half? That condo is mine. Grandma left us equal shares. I bought my condo with my half. You spent yours. Claire rolled her eyes. It's only fair. Family shares. Emily waited for her parents to correct Claire, but instead they nodded along. She needs help, Emily, her mother said firmly. You're comfortable. You can afford it. Emily's voice hardened. No. I'm not selling my condo. I worked for it. I saved for years. I'm still paying the mortgage. Her father's tone turned sharp. Don't be selfish. Your sister is struggling. Emily pushed back her chair. She's not struggling, she's reckless. And I won't set myself on fire to keep her warm. Claire slammed her fist on the table. You've always been jealous of me, she snapped. Emily stood. Jealous? Of what? Watching you waste every opportunity you've ever been given. Her mother's face darkened. Enough. You need to think about family, Emily. Emily shook her head. Family supports each other, yes. But enabling bad choices isn't love, it's destruction. She turned and walked out as her father called after her. You're incredibly selfish. Emily thought that was the end of it. She expected Claire to pout, her parents to scold, and eventually they'd drop the subject. But a week later, Emily came home early from work and froze at the sound of voices inside her condo. She pushed open the door and saw Claire lounging on her couch, with a realtor. The location is excellent, the man was saying. We could list this for at least 20% above market value. Emily's jaw dropped. What the hell is going on here? Claire looked up casually. Oh, Emily, this is Daniel, the realtor. We're discussing the listing. Emily's voice rose. Listing? You can't sell my condo. Daniel stammered. I apologize. I thought she was the owner. Emily glared. She's not. Please leave now. The man gathered his things and hurried out. Emily turned on Claire, her body shaking with anger. How did you even get in here? Claire smirked. Mom and Dad gave me the spare key. Emily's stomach twisted. That was for emergencies. This is trespassing. Claire leaned back smugly. I'm not leaving, little sister. Maybe I'll stay here until you come to your senses. Emily pulled out her phone. Then I'll call the police. Claire burst out laughing when Emily put her phone on speaker. You wouldn't dare call the cops on your own sister. But the operator's voice filled the room. 911, what's your emergency? Emily kept her eyes on Claire. Yes, I need to report an intruder in my home who refuses to leave. Claire's face went pale. She grabbed her purse and hissed, You'll regret this, before storming out. Emily locked the door behind her, her hands trembling. She sat down, her chest heaving. My own sister just tried to steal my home. That evening, Emily's phone lit up with dozens of missed calls. She let them all go to voicemail. Later she listened. Her mother's furious voice rang out. How dare you threaten your sister with the police? After everything we've done for you. Her father's voice was even harsher. If you don't sell that condo and give Claire her share, you're no daughter of mine. Emily sat on the couch, tears stinging her eyes, but her resolve hardened. They'll never see me as anything but a wallet. The next morning things escalated. Her mother had posted on Facebook. With a heavy heart, we are disowning our younger daughter for choosing money over family. We cannot condone such selfishness. Comments poured in from relatives. What happened? So sad. Praying for healing. Emily's hands shook as she typed a reply. Since my mother isn't telling the full story, my parents and sister tried to force me to sell my condo and give half to my sister. She already wasted her inheritance on designer clothes and trips. When I refused, she broke into my home with a realtor to try to sell it. That's why I'm being disowned. The response was instant. Cousins and extended family jumped in. I've seen Claire's post showing off jewelry and vacations, one cousin wrote. Emily has every right to keep her condo. Another added, Claire has enough luxury goods to sell before begging her sister for money. By the next morning, Emily noticed her mother had deleted the post entirely. But the damage was done. The family secret was out, and this time the truth was on Emily's side. Her parents didn't back down privately. They sent message after message. You've embarrassed this family, her father texted. Claire deserves better. Emily blocked their numbers. The piece that followed was startling. For the first time her phone stayed quiet. She changed the locks again and gave the new spare key to her best friend Lily instead of her parents. Smart move, Lily said. They lost the right to that trust. Weeks passed and Emily felt lighter without the constant weight of her parents' demands. Occasionally Claire sent messages from new numbers. You'll regret this. I just needed help. Emily deleted them without replying. She knew that giving in even once would drag her back into their cycle of entitlement. I won't set myself on fire to keep you warm, she whispered each time she pressed delete. Some acquaintances criticized her. But they're your family, one coworker said gently. Family is family. Emily smiled sadly. No. Family are the people who respect you and care about you, not the ones who treat you like a resource. She thought of her grandmother who had been the only one to truly believe in her. Blood doesn't always mean loyalty, Emily added, turning back to her work. Over the next few years, Emily flourished. She received another promotion at work, this time to project manager. Her mortgage payments became easier, and at 30 she finally paid it off completely. She celebrated quietly with Lily, raising a glass of champagne in her condo's living room. Debt-free, Emily said proudly. This place is truly mine now. Lily grinned. And you did it without them. It was around that time she met Darren, a kind, supportive man who admired her independence. On their third date he asked about her family. Emily hesitated, then told him everything. Darren reached across the table and took her hand. You've been through hell, he said softly. But look at you now. You're stronger than they'll ever be. Emily smiled for the first time in a long time when talking about her past. I guess I am. Holidays became simpler. Instead of awkward family dinners, Emily spent them with friends who felt more like family than blood ever had. They cooked meals together, exchanged thoughtful gifts, and laughed late into the night. Sometimes, Emily missed the idea of family, the warmth of parents who celebrated her wins, the pride she never got from them. But when those feelings crept in, she reminded herself of reality. Her family had chosen favoritism and manipulation. She had chosen peace. One afternoon, Emily ran into a cousin at the grocery store. We all saw what happened on Facebook, the cousin whispered. Honestly, we're proud of you. It takes courage to stand up to them. Emily felt her chest warm with relief. Thank you, she said. For so long she had felt like the villain in her parents' story. Now she realized others had seen the truth all along. Claire, on the other hand, never changed. Rumors drifted through the family grapevine. Failed business ventures, another job lost, more drama. Each time someone would suggest, maybe you should reach out. Emily shook her head. Not until she takes responsibility. I won't be her safety net. She had stopped rescuing people who refused to rescue themselves. By 31, Emily had everything her younger self had dreamed of. A paid-off home. A successful career. A circle of friends who loved her for who she was. A partner who supported her without conditions. Standing on her balcony one evening, she watched the Phoenix sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and purple. For the first time in years she felt content. Not the desperate contentment of survival, but the steady peace of a life she had built herself. She still wondered sometimes if reconciliation was possible. Could her parents ever see her as more than a second choice? Could Claire ever stop expecting the world to hand her everything? Emily doubted it. But she also knew she didn't need them anymore. "I'm not a backup," she whispered into the evening air. "I'm not their shadow. I'm me. And that's enough." Emily's story wasn't about revenge. It was about release. By refusing to sell her condo, by drawing a hard line, she had finally freed herself from years of manipulation. She learned that real family isn't defined by blood, but by respect and love. The lesson was clear. You cannot sacrifice your peace for people who refuse to take responsibility for their choices. Protect your boundaries, build your own life, and surround yourself with those who truly value you. That, Emily realized, was the truest form of healing. Thanks you for watching, and please remember to tell us where you are watching from today. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more of this.